Welcome to Break Free to Brilliance podcast, empowering women in business through thought provoking interviews and insights. Embrace your authentic power, explore the impact of your story, and discover how writing your best selling book can amplify your message, authority, and the three I's: impact, influence, and income. Let each episode guide you towards brilliance in minutes. This is your host, Seema Giri. Our next speaker is going to flip the old work harder model completely on its head. Danielle Marggraf is a speaker, author, and founder of the Embodied Women community. She's known for helping women build wealth without the burnout. How cool is that? Blending somatic wisdom, feminine leadership, and unapologetic authenticity. In our talk, Hot, Rich, and Regulated: The Secret to Making Money Without Burning Out or Selling Out, Danielle will show us why calm is a new currency and how your body, not just your mindset, holds the key to sustainable success. Please welcome Danielle Marggraf.
The crowd goes wild. Hi, thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
yeah, of course, my pleasure. I'm just going to set the timer and it's all yours.
Okay, let's get going. We're just going to dive in. How's everyone doing? Am I the last speaker here today?
You are our
Okay.
last speaker
So
today.
if you've all been here all day, I want you to just like shake it out. Take a deep cleansing breath, drop your shoulders, roll your neck, maybe crack your knuckles. Because it is a long day to be sitting in front of Zoom, right? So I just want you to be present with me, and I hope to make it fun and interactive, and I hope to activate you a little bit. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's just start with some truth. Okay, so I don't know how many of you actually know who I am or my story, but I'll just share with you that I am a master manifester, and I manifested a failed marriage. I manifested three times I was on food stamps. I've manifested 4 car repossessions. And my grand finale of really taking manifestation to the next level is I manifested homelessness with a second grader and a fourth grader. Okay. So no stranger to poverty, no stranger to trying to force my mind to think the thoughts that I need to think in order to get the thing that I want, which is money, right? I needed more money. I was called into coaching in 2011. During that time, found myself in a divorce that I was not anticipating. And but chose. So I'm fully responsible for choosing it. I just didn't go into it thinking I would ever get divorced, especially with a brand new baby and a toddler, right? Like that's when we think, oh, we're just starting, right? Well, for me, it was starting, but it was starting completely different than what I had thought it was going to look like. And so I have a master's degree. I'm fairly intelligent, I would imagine, being able to have a master's degree. I have tons of certifications. I found coaching and I thought I was already a yoga instructor. I was a master Reiki practitioner at the time. And I did not want to put my kids in daycare. I committed that, I didn't have kids to not raise them myself and be with them. And that is just what felt good to me, especially with my history of trauma as a kid. Okay. So it's not bad on you if you put your kids in daycare, everyone's prerogative, right? But the truth is that, I was living from a place of shame and unworthiness. I don't know how many women out there can really raise their hand to like relating to this feeling of shame or unworthiness that we don't think consciously. I'm not thinking consciously I am unworthy. I'm not thinking consciously I don't deserve, right? But I am I was very clear that my results and the feedback that I was getting, which is your results, right, were evidence of something going on. And I'm a hustler, just like you. I'm a hustler, right? Meaning, if there is no road, I will build the road. Okay. I know that's how you are too. And the world told us we can have it all as long as we were willing to work like we were being chased. Okay. And so I did all that. And I was all in all the time in survival. Okay, that was the job. The job was survival. When I found coaching, I didn't have any idea what it was in 2011, but I found it and I thought, oh my God, this is what I meant to do. Like, this is my purpose and this is it. Like, I can't believe there's a job for this. Right. And so, but what I realized very quickly in raising kids by myself, not just a single mom, but a solo parent, dad disappeared, that, caffeine and adrenaline and survival and hustle, right? I knew how to make it happen through sheer will. But what was happening is that wasn't building wealth. Okay. I was building a tolerance for pressure, for proving, and for pretending that I was fine, because there is no stronger woman than the one who needs to pretend she's fine for her kids, to find strength where there was none before, and to push through when all she wants to do is collapse. Can you relate to that? Right? Can anyone on here relate? And maybe you're a dad, right? I mean, I work with women, but maybe you are the opposite, right? Partner who had to do all this for your family, for your kids. One day I looked around and I realized everything looked successful at some point. I spent 10 years in not success, right? And then eventually I built a six-figure business and then a multi six-figure business. And then we built a seven-figure company, right? And we continue to grow, but nothing felt successful. Nothing felt successful. And that was my wake-up call, is that I thought that the money would make me feel successful because I'd have relief. But the problem is the more money I made, the more money I spent, the more money I invested, because it just kept, I was on in a habit of that, pushing through and getting the next level and going faster, because it does become a habit for your system. And really, I realized I need another plan. I need another plan. And I really needed to come home to, what is it that I truly desire? Now, I will tell you, I am successful, right? I am very successful. I built a business that allowed me to stay home with my kids. I built a business that allowed me, in 2024, last year, when my daughter turned 16, I was able to take her to the place that she dreamed of going, which was Paris, France. Right? I took me and my kids, the three of us went together to celebrate her. I will be taking my son in 2026 for his 16th to his dream location, which is Japan. Right? I have been able to drive them to school and pick them up and drive them home from school and have time with them in the car, to be a present, mindful mom, which was my priority, right? I've been able to do all this. I am very, very grateful for that. But I was not willing to sell my soul to be able to do that, right? And so this is what this is all about. Coming home to your power through your body, because your nervous system is actually running your business, whether you realize it or not. Okay. So we grew up in a world that rewards the push, that tells women the harder you go, the more you prove, the more you'll be seen, validated, the more visible you'll be, the more respected you'll be, right? And the truth is that your body really does keep the score. And you can't hustle your way into alignment, right? Because when you ignore the signs of burnout, of being irritable, of being anxious, of never being able to turn off your brain, of always looking for the next solution or the next strategy, and the crash after every launch. Who has not had that crash after a launch? Oh my God, the worst, right? Your body doesn't forget that stuff. It starts whispering and then it starts yelling. This isn't what we were signing up for, right? This is not going to work, right? And so it's your body, the body doesn't create from fear, it really wants to create from regulation, from coherence, from peace, from this sense of resourced, right? You want to be resourced and you want to create resilience within that resource space. So when I learned that my nervous system was the foundation of everything, which was in 2017, right, is when the poverty reign of terror ended for me, right? I found somatic work and I realized, oh my God, everything changed. Everything changed, right? Because I was so focused on money, manifesting, mindset. Those were the three M's that I was studying ferociously and teaching and sharing and reading about. But why wasn't it working in the direction that I wanted it to work? So I learned that the nervous system is the foundation of wealth. And that overdoing, when I was overdoing and over efforting and over giving and over delivering and over functioning, it softened, right? Results started to expand. Within 6 months, right, of doing this work, I brought in my first six-figure year after doing like negative all the 10 years before. And it was in the range of, it was about $152,000. And I thought, oh my God, I have fucking made it. I've made it. And money began to flow. And not because I pushed more, but because I stopped finally fighting myself. Okay. So here's the thing, right? And I'm going to share some of these pieces with you. And so bear with me here. There's a part that no one tells you, right? Is that your body decides what's safe to have, not your mind. I want you to write that down. Your body decides what's safe to have, not your mind. Okay. You can visualize $1 million. You could script affirmations. You could do the work. But if your body does not feel safe holding that level, it will find a way to stop it or slow it, repel it. Okay. Every big leap, and most of you might recognize the term sabotage, right? People will say, well, you're sabotaging yourself, which makes it feel like it's our fault. No, you're not sabotaging yourself. You're wired, right, to slow it down. You're wired to repel it. It's not a sabotage, it's a safety mechanism that's kicking in. Every big leap has a physiological reaction. All right. Raising your price. Oh, I don't know. Will people buy? I need to do the right exact price point, because if I do the right exact price point, then people will buy my stuff. Launch the offer. Oh my God, what if people don't like this? What if people don't buy? What if I launch it and nobody shows up? What if I have something and nobody comes? It's like having a party and you're afraid you put that invitation. Is anyone going to come? Nobody RSVP'd, right? Speak your truth. Right? You speak your truth. Oh shit, the witch wound, the sisterhood wound, the wound of I'm a good girl and I'm afraid people aren't going to like me and they're going to reject me and they're not going to think that I'm right. That's what's happening. Fight, flight, freeze, fawn. That's not failure. That's data. That is your data when you feel like that. That's your body saying we're expanding beyond what we've ever done or beyond what we've ever known. Right. And so fight, flight, freeze, and fawn all shows up in your business. They all show up. Don't expect them not to show up. Right? Because they're going to show up. Fight, overworking, micromanaging, trying to control outcomes, right? Flight, distracting yourself, pivoting mid-launch, never finishing something, constantly getting things ready, ready to get ready, to get ready, to get ready, to get ready, writing it, rewriting it, writing it, rewriting it. Freeze, I'm stuck or I'm uninspired. I'm in freeze. I'm stuck and I'm uninspired. Fawn, the disease to please and appease. Oh, girlfriends, we created this response. We created this response, right? Discounting, apologizing, people pleasing, overgiving, over delivering, overstretching ourselves, codependence. Are you okay? Are you okay? Do you need anything? Right? Yeah. Every one of these is your body trying to protect you from rejection, failure, exposure. You can write that down if you want. I think it's a pretty good one. Every one of these is your body trying to protect you from rejection, failure, and exposure. And everyone can shift through awareness and safety, right? And safety doesn't feel what you think safety probably feels like in your body. Because when we're expanding, expansion doesn't feel safe, right? So we need to really understand what that feels like in our bodies so we know, like, I'm expanding and this is a normal feeling that I'm going to be feeling, and I'm safe. And I'm safe. right? When your body feels safe, your energy gets clean. You have clean energy. Your energy is clean, right? Clarity is kindness. When your bodies feel safe, clean energy, right? Clean energy exchange. When your energy is clean, your business becomes magnetic. There is no way that you are going to be misconstrued or misunderstood. You will become magnetic. That's what magnetism is. Clean energy, right? Clear message. Knowing your medicine, knowing your worth, knowing your value, being able to voice that, being able to share what your medicine is with the world. Calm women make bold moves. Calm women know when to act and when to rest. Calm women create empires, not chaos, not chaos, doing, right? So let's just decode something a little bit, and then I'm going to go back. Um, I called this hot, rich, and regulated. And I thought that was really kitschy and cute and clever of me, right? But I really want you to get clear on that each of these means something. All right. Each of these means something. There's always a method to my madness, right? Hot is about it's not how you look, right? Although I know you are hot, right? But this is about your aliveness. This is the woman who lights up by her purpose. She lights up the room by her purpose, being on purpose. She's magnetic because she's alive. She's fully embodied, right? When you're turned on by your work, people feel it before you speak a word. You have an energy field out here. People feel that. That's embodiment. That's presence, right? You are not, it's not about performing energy. It's not about pretending. It's not about me coming on here and pretending for you, right? If you meet me for coffee, this is the crazy that you're going to meet for coffee with, right? I am who I am on screen as I am off screen, right? This is it. This is it. You get what you get and you don't get upset or you just walk out, right? But here's the thing. It's about becoming energy, right? And your body is your marketing. Every cell radiating the frequency of I'm safe, I'm powerful, I'm open, here I am, here we go. This is what I have to say. This is how I'm serving, right? Unapologetic. Now, rich, okay, rich, right? Hot, rich, and regulated. Rich is the overflow. Because you cannot be in total service to another if you are in scarcity, if you are in survival, because you need their money. Although we know money doesn't come from people, it comes from God, it comes from source, it comes from spirit, and it comes through people. But if you are needing someone's money and you need to make that sale, you are selling from scarcity. You are not sharing to serve. Two very different states. Two very different states. So this is overflow. Rich in time, rich in creativity, rich in joy in your nervous system. Oh, feeling so good, right? Because true wealth is about capacity. I have the capacity. I have the space. Okay. The ability to hold more love, more clients, more visibility, more expansion without collapsing, right? Because you can keep going, right? And we got to keep going. We can't stop, right? But we don't need to push ourselves to complete burnout or to sell out, to sell ourselves out, doing things we don't want to do, forcing ourselves to do things that are not in alignment just to make the money. I don't subscribe to it. I used to subscribe to it, but I do not subscribe to it. Okay. Money isn't the prize, it's the mirror, it's the byproduct. If money is your problem, right? What I'm going to tell you is money is your teacher. Money is your teacher. Money is definitely my teacher, and I respect it greatly. And I don't, bow to money, right? Money is just the result of. It reflects how deeply you trust yourself to receive, and it reflects how deeply you serve. Okay, now let's go to regulated. So I think there's a little misconception around this idea. I think a lot of people are talking about nervous system work. I think a lot of people are talking about getting regulated. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that makes us crazy right now, right? And makes us dysregulated. Regulation is not necessarily the end all be all goal. Why? Because this is life and we can't constantly be regulated in life. right? We can't constantly be regulated, but it is your foundation. And to understand what your body feels like in a regulated state is really supportive of understanding you're grounded, your center, right? You can respond instead of react. You build a capacity for being able to do that. You move from knowing, not from the noise, right? But what we really want to do is we also want to have a system that's steady. Your energy is steady. And when your energy is steady, everything you touch compounds because you're not here doing it from a place of lack, right? And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have resilience to resource ourselves to always come back to a regulated state, but not expect that you're always going to necessarily be in a regulated state, right? So women are reprogramming, I believe, what leadership looks like, and I am leading them. Okay, that's what I am doing in the embodied woman community as an example, because there is a new way to lead. There is a new way to make money. It is the wild, wild west out there online in the coaching industry. It's not about managing your time, it's about managing your energy. Okay. There is a somatic and energetic focus to this that is becoming more and more apparent. Doesn't matter what your strategy is, right? Strategy doesn't always work. Rarely, I think it works. It's not about proving that you're capable, it's about trusting that you already are, right? And when you leave from the body, you are building something that lasts, that's sustainable. That's what changes the room when you walk in. That's what draws clients to you without you needing a script. That's what creates wealth that feels holy, not hustled. Okay. Leadership rooted in this is what we want. This is the future of business because when women feel safe, they create wealth that ripples into families, communities, and generations. We will change the world. Your work will change the world. Okay. And that's how the world changes, not through grind, but in being grounded in ourselves. So I don't even know how much I'm not even paying attention. Are we good on time? Oh, I'm good on time. Yeah. I can keep going. Okay. I'm going to just keep going. Or are we not good on time? Okay, we're good. I'm gonna keep going. Woo! All right, let's keep going. You women are with me, right? Okay, I see Kimberly's with me, Stacey's with me. Okay, Seema says definitely. Okay. All right. So when a woman feels safe in her body, she can hold anything. Clients, cash, creativity, expansion, right? When you live hot, rich, and regulated, you move differently. You trust yourself. You express freely. You stop needing permission. You do not need permission. All right. Your energy then becomes an invitation, and you no longer have to wear a mask of figuring out what to do to get people to come in to your world. Because the most magnetic woman in the room isn't performing confidence, she is confidence, right? And so she isn't chasing anything. She's not looking for alignment. She embodies alignment, right? Not perfection, by the way, not perfection. I am far from perfect, right? But that's how we start to lead through our bodies. All right. And so here's the thing, my core promise to you is when a woman learns to feel safe in her power, she becomes magnetic to money, opportunity, and expansion. And that is my promise. And the body runs the business. That's, your subconscious is in your body. It's 95% of your results, right? We got to go into the body. We can't be up here. When your nervous is in survival, you cannot receive, right? So you want to figure out where are you in these patterns, and you want to turn it. You want to flip the frequency. I'm actually doing a little thing tomorrow. It's called Flip the Frequency, Shift Your State, Change Your Fate. And this is exactly what we're going to be talking about. Becoming alive and expressed and turned on by what you do, being overflow in money, yes, but also overflow in your time and your creativity, right? And so this is how we move. And you don't build wealth by chasing. You're just never going to do that. You're going to build it by being the woman who can hold it. You're going to build by being the woman who can hold it. Okay. Questions? How was that?
That
Did you feel it in your bodies?
I certainly did. That was great, Danielle. Thank you so much. That was really um, powerful, and I think I think I can feel it. Everyone has felt this in their body,
Good.
not just in their minds. So this was a great reminder. You reminded us that success doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from feeling safe enough to receive it. And From what you were talking about, Danielle, I'm I have experience in energy healing too, so I can really understand what you're talking about. But one of the things my clients always say when I talk about this is like, Seema, that's going to take so long to
Mm.
get there. So what is your view on it? Does it take 6 months to a year, or can we
To
get
do
into
what?
this to I guess to get more in the regulated flow where we can you know be able to receive the wealth and hold that capacity, or maybe even increase the capacity to do more
So
with our business and life.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it. And I think it's very personal to you and where you're at and what your story is and what you're holding on to, right? But I'll give you an example of my client Mia, okay? My client Mia, she was referred to me. She came to me at the end of April. And we I was doing at the time I was doing a 16-week course called Receive. And she came to that, and when they paid, and when you paid in full, you got 3 private sessions with me. So she paid in full. And we did the Receive within the first 30 days. So she was someone who came to me. She does her jam is branding. She does a lot of branding and websites and design, and that's what she loves to do. And typically my clients are creatives, right? Like, so they're creatives like Mia, or they're in the transformational coaching space, or they're healers, or they're feminine leaders in some way. Like, that's who my ideal client is. And so she was a creative, and she came in. She has a young baby, and she's married, and she only made $20,000 all last year. Okay, her whole year she made 20 grand. She was on average this year making about $3,000 a month. Within her first 30 days of us working together, she made $12,000. In month two, she made $8,000. In month three, she made $11,000. So she made $30,000 after 3 months. Now in September, she's in my Embodied Woman community. September, she had her biggest month yet at $15,000. She has made over $60,000 since the end of April until now. That's how fast it can happen, right? It
Mm.
doesn't have to take a long time. I will tell you, I had another woman work with me privately for a year. She came in at about $6,000 a month, right? It took her a year for us to get her to $25,000 months. So, right? I mean, not that I mean, she made over 250,000 for the year. It was great. But right, it just depends. It depends where you're at and who you are.
Great. So that's great to see. I mean, it doesn't have to take as long, but depending on, I guess, on where you are in your story and how quickly you're working through that is, it can definitely within a year and not and as short as 90 days.
Yeah. Yeah, even
But
30 days, right?
even
Like, it
30
just
days, yeah.
depends. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it depends how invested you are.
And that brings up another good point. Sometimes we may want to move forward and make a lot more, increase your monthly revenue or your yearly revenue.
Mhm.
Um, you may want that, but somehow prevent yourself from doing that, right?
Well, right, because here's the thing, desire, right? We all have a desire, right? I have a desire to go live right now I'm going to go I have a desire to go live in, Italy somewhere, right? But I don't have the capacity to do that. I have a senior in high school. I have another kid who's a sophomore, right? And I don't have the capacity to pack everything up and leave, and right? Our desire doesn't always match our capacity. When we talk about capacity, we're actually talking about our physical body and can we hold it? Can we hold
Mm,
it? So if you can't like hold it, right? And if your body can't, if it shuts down, if it goes into the fight, flight, freeze, fawn, right place, if you are in survival, even though you don't feel like you're in survival, this is the biggest thing. A lot of people are in survival, but they don't realize they're in survival because survival has become such a natural, normal state of how they've adapted to live. So you're
mm,
adapted to live in survival, so it doesn't feel like survival. So actually, when one thing goes wrong or when something goes left instead of right, all of a sudden you're having a breakdown or you're like falling apart or you don't have the bandwidth. But really, it's only because you were teetering on the edge of survival this entire time. You've just adapted to it.
mm. That, my dear, is a very powerful statement. Now you're making me wonder about myself now.
I love it. Yeah, it's
Oh,
all of us, right? There's no
yes.
hierarchy, right? It's all of us. It's all of us, right? And it's just a matter of how do we want to move anymore? How do we want to move? When do we get to say enough is enough? I am claiming a different way, right? I want to move in a different way. I want to build my business in a sustainable way that
Yeah.
feels really good, and we can do that.
Yeah, and we can do that. So let's all claim that, whether we're women or men, let's just
Yeah.
claim that we're going to do it in a sustainable way. And let's take the layers off and see, is it do we think we're thriving, and is thriving the disguise of surviving, or we're really surviving? And it's okay wherever you are, right? Because it's all about awareness, and it's all about going to the next level. It's about evolution. That's what we're talking about in this.
Yeah.
It's about evolution. And don't worry about like, oh my gosh, am I, because I've had that feeling come up right now. It's like, am I really behind? Am I on track? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't
You're
matter.
you're perfectly where you are. And if you're having
Yeah.
these awareness, this is the whole point of the summit, is for you to have that awareness so you can peel the onion even more, because we are dealing with some big onion.
Yes,
Lots of
we are.
layers, and we're just pulling it and peeling it, and getting to the core of who we really are. So
Yeah.
it's not that you haven't evolved, you're just evolving, right? In my speech, I said we're becoming. So it's
Yeah.
always about the becoming and all that. So thank you
Yeah.
so much. Any questions, please put in the chat. Danielle, that was great. Danielle, you have a
Thank you.
book.
I do have a book. It's not out yet. It was supposed to come out Tuesday. That's a whole nother story. I was dealing with my own, like, what is going on? That's what inspired my workshop for tomorrow, Flip the Frequency.
Mm.
It's called Embodied Millions. Yeah. Awaken your feminine power, distill your soul's medicine, and create wealth through your body's wisdom. And so I hope that you will all go out and buy my book when it's time, and connect with me on Instagram. I love Instagram. That's like my place. I would love to connect with you all. Yeah, for sure. And yeah, thank you for mentioning it.
Yes, of course. And I always love to ask this one question, Danielle.
Sure.
What was your why for sharing your story and writing your book?
Yeah, my kids, 100%. So, I got to tell you, there was a moment. I remember I was sharing with you about, like, I was in the middle of this divorce. Well,
Mm.
my parents had retired. I'm a New Yorker now, transplanted for 12 years in New Jersey. I don't know if you can hear my accent or not. What gave it
Every
away?
now and then.
Yeah, exactly, right. Coffee is really where I get caught up. But anyway, I had to move down to North Carolina with my kids. They were babies, two under two, and because it's a long story, it doesn't even matter. Anyway, I had to go down there, and I was by myself. We were in the middle of nowhere, and I realized I had no money. My marriage was over. I have a master's degree. I'm educated. I don't know what to do. How did I get here? It was literally like a paradigm shift. I was like, wait, how did I get here? Right? It was so wild to me. And I remember seeing my kids play on the floor with their toys in the corner of my eye. And I was walking from a bedroom into the living room. And I literally had what I call like this lightning bolt moment, which I've had multiple times in my life and through my business. And it literally was like, I'm done. I am done with whatever this is, and I made this decision, and the decision was, I realized in that moment I was full of shame and unworthiness, and I was not passing it down to my children. And so I think it's easy when we're a parent to say, I'd give my left arm for my kid, I'd give my right arm for my kid. But I'm going to tell you, when you actually make the decision to change your life and courageously go down a path that does not seem logical. It was not logical for me to create a business. It was logical for me to go find a job, put my kids in daycare, and go get an income. But I went totally rogue. Everyone thought I had lost my mind, and I did. And it was like, I am going to show them that if I can do it, they can do it. So even
Mhm.
though they only have me, if they don't have me, they can see evidence of my entire life was built on courage, being courageous and being bold and standing up for what I believed and for healing myself. And so, yeah, it's all my kids. And then I remember saying, I said to God, I said, if you make it so I hack being able to make money, I will dedicate my life to helping women make money. And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of money coaches out there. It's one thing to prove your own results. It is a very different thing to be able to help your clients make money, to teach someone how to make money. And that is what I've devoted my entire life to.
Wow. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Yeah.
And I want to take a moment to mention that the content shared in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. My guests and I share personal experiences and real life examples that have helped us live our best lives, much like friends sharing stories. While we strive to provide valuable information, it's important to consult with professionals for advice tailored to your individual circumstances. Thank you for being part of our community, and thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, your story is your strength. Until next time, stay inspired and keep making a difference. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Break Free to Brilliance podcast, and I hope you had some key takeaways that you can implement right away. Be sure to subscribe to Break Free to Brilliance wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow along with us on social media using the links in the show notes below. We'll see you again for the next episode.